Okay, folks, what's up? We're here to get on the Path of Achra. Now, last time we managed to get through with a Viria Aslan of Eris. I'm interested in this guy, Azdaha, the stone goddess of draconic transformation, whose body dwells deep within the mountain temple lands, blesses followers with a fearsome drake form. Now, I haven't mentioned it, but you can see here. See here? But if you look at like this section of the screen, you can see like life plus 50, willpower plus 2, strength plus 1, dex plus 1. So that all over here adds up between your culture, your class, and your deity to decide your starting stats, right? Of course, you've got your gear, and these right here are the prayers. I'm not sure when you unlock, like, prayer 2 and prayer 3, but let's look at these. Proso Miana is apply 5 Drake form to yourself, remove all harmful effects from yourself, and plus 1 charge when you recite the Proso Mach. It gets 1 charge. Deal damage to all units in a 3-tile range. Damage equals 100 times stacks of Drake form on self. Damage type is your main hand weapon. Plus 1 charge when you enter a new area. So this only gets a plus 1 charge when you recite the Proso Mach, right? And Proso Drow heal 500. Plus 1 charge when you enter a new area, but you only get 1 max charges. Huh. Right? On prayer, apply 5 Drake form to yourself. Now let's go up here and search prayer, right? On entrance, per empty armor slot, grant 1 charge to each known prayer, deal blood damage to yourself, and summon a sacred skin familiar. Ouch. Damage equals 20% of your max life. Now, I trust that you can do math better than I can, so you probably understood what that means immediately. But yeah, 4/5 of your health every time, if you're naked, you enter a new area. That's not great. On entrance, grant 1 charge to each known prayer. On prayer, perform a hit against 1 enemy in a 2-tile range. That's not bad. We know what happens with this guy. The Naki, a citizen of the mountain temple lands, practices an empowering ritual of attunement. Apply plus 5 initial attacks, plus 5 initial stacks for each fully charged prayer on being attacked. Apply 1 to 2. Plus 1% damage dealt, huh? On entrance, plus 5 initial stacks for each fully charged prayer. So you just end up doing a ton of extra damage. Well, the thing here is that we could very easily use that to start like each area with plus 15% damage. And like what? Plus, I told you I'm terrible at math, but plus like what? Come on, brain. It's 5 times 2 times 3. 300. Yeah. Okay. Goodness, I'm dim. I'm sorry. So. Yeah, so we can start with like plus 300 armor, plus 150 hit, plus 15% from the initial 5, and then each. Yeah, but then we wouldn't actually be using this, would we? On entrance and prayer, apply 2 anoint. On kill, if you have anoint, get more anoint. That's getting into the classes though, rather than the culture. On prayer or ally death, apply 3 inflame, deal 100 fire damage to the closest enemy. I know who we're gonna use with this guy. That's not even a question. The Apostle should be used with the Phoenix, for reasons that are kind of obvious. Well, since we're not really going to be looking at, you know, maybe we should unlock some more stuff before we go in on Azdaha. Like, maybe see if there's some better synergies with prayer and maybe getting prayers back that we can get. My alternate choice for the third cycle of hope was the ape. A furred denizen of the deep forest and secret mountain caves, prefers nakedness, fights with primal strength. He is stupid strong. Yeah. There's one thing though. There's someone else I wanted to do the ape run with as far as classes, so maybe we shouldn't do the ape yet. The Lochra, a violent inhabitant of the deep forest, can naturally awaken the feared berserker gong. On being dealt damage, +2 berserk. Apply +1 of self-damage. Now see, I don't know if you get an extra attack per berserk, because if you do, that is nutty. So they resist blood, and resist psychic negatively. If two-handing per empty armor slot. Yeah. We don't really have a whole lot of synergistic stuff unlocked yet. So maybe if we just go with Humbaba, the Lochra, and the Mubarizun, a renowned duelist champion, cuts enemies through a whirling dance. Yeah, let's go with that. Now, we've got resist blood 50%, so we actually, ironically, probably don't want to take blood as our power. Yeah. Let's get our willpower up. Goodness, that's like hideously low. Okay, let's take a look at our character, and let's take a look at the powers. Now, I haven't really talked about powers much. So the thing is that you've got martial, fire, lightning, poison, death, ice, astral, psychic, life, and blood, right? Now, life and martial are interesting in that they give you triple resistances, as you can see down here. Right, each point spent in martial grants you 1% pierce, slash, and blunt resistance. Now, if you look over here on Vinokinesis, each point spent in life grants you +1% poison, death, and blood resistance. Now, if I'm going to be real, if I had to rank them in terms of danger category, you are probably most likely going to die to astral. I mean, look, let me back up. You are most likely to die from electrical, in the higher cycles anyway. Just remember, and I should have said this earlier, that all of my like comments on enemy danger and stuff are based on like cycle 16, 17. The higher the cycles you get, the more you notice that the stuff that actually typically kills you is like lightning, astral, like psychic. Fire is common, but so many classes and cultures resist fire. Kind of the same for poison. Death, like poison and death, you get resistances to from just leveling up strength. Martial is bad, but you can solve martial in like one of two ways: either not getting anywhere near combat, or just by being like, and by martial I mean the pure slash and blunt, like physical. Like physical is bad, but you can either go into martial to negate that more or less, or you can end up just not getting into combat. So that's kind of the thing here with these. Physical, you kind of negate through avoidance, life, death, like all of the life resist elements. You like poison, death, and blood. You get resistance to that through just leveling strength, which you should anyway, kind of. And plus, there's I mean, our guy right now has 50% blood resistance. Like, you can get resistance to those things pretty passively. Lightning tends to arc through. I mean, duh, right? What a stupid thing to say, but lightning damage will get you through arcing through your minions. Psychic damage will get you because it's just kind of hard to get gear that's resistant to psychic in a way that will make up for a severe deficiency. Astral will get you because astral enemies tend to literally have the text, when on player step, teleport and, you know, commit unwholesome acts of violence, basically. Fire is kind of a notable weird one, because like I said, a lot of cultures and classes have an innate resistance to fire. Aside from that, fire is kind of something that whenever you get it bad, but whenever you don't get it, it's not that bad. And fire and ice both, there's at least one piece of gear that I can think of that just gives you flat 50% resistance to each, kind of like with the astral and psychic element, but also the Scudum gives you just a flat 20% resistance to each. There's just decent fire resistant gear everywhere. That's much less the case for ice. Ice is hard to resist, but you don't come across it often. So yeah, if I had to pick like the most dangerous out of these, in my own personal opinion, it's astral and psychic, like Tide, and then it's lightning. That said, our guy is not resistant to psychic, but let's see what he actually is. So, to just review what we're going with, the Berserker Gong guy, right? Because he's a Lochra. Like, hold on, yeah, the Lochra Mubarizun of Humbaba. So, we're really incentivized to keep moving, right? To keep moving and get after it, so to speak. Where do we want to spend our initial points? Well, we're going to be getting some strength, probably not a whole lot. Maybe not. We're definitely not going to be two-handing because we get a benefit from single-handing. So probably going into martial a little bit, and that leaves us with what else, right? Well, I would like to go with Vina Kinesis and Cryokinesis, so that we can hit an enemy and then we just slap freeze. Now, mind you, this has apply 5 freeze to the target, and only the damage scales. We don't get more freeze for leveling this up. But this, on prayer standstill per skill level, you know, increase all ice and physical damage by the stacks of freeze on the target times skill level. That's not bad. Now, if we could, like, add more freeze on standstill. That's the thing, is that ice has a whole lot of on standstill stuff. So if we did get into that just to slow stuff down, which we might, probably will, it's going to be a matter of like just getting cryokinesis, and that's just on hit. right? Now, entangle. Let's see how many different ways we can add entangle. On game turn, apply entangle to 2 enemies in a 3 tile range. On hit, if target has entangled, deal blood damage. That kind of, you know, synergizes with what we've got. On being dealt damage, apply entangle to yourself and adjacent enemies. On being attacked, deal pierce damage to the attacker. Master entangle is kind of cool for that. That if we take damage, right, we give entangle, and master entangle only takes 3 each, so we might go with that. The main thing here is that our healing, if we go that route, will be life chant, and that's on game turn or prayer if enemies live. Heal yourself. I mean, it's kind of simple, but we need to get that immediately. Let's go ahead and get Master Entangle with that. And then we'll pick up Cryokinesis. Now, once we get Vinokinesis, we'll have 3 left, obviously. We're going to go for Technique, Guard, and I'm not sure what the third one will be, but it will probably be Agility. We should get points into Strength first. Go ahead and get our stuff going here. Now we want to be stepping around, right? Go ahead and get Vinokinesis for now, just so that we slow stuff down. Because again, if you look here, on step, block, or dodge. So we do want to be stepping. Hot stepping around. On being dealt damage, we're not going to be going for self-damage for reasons a little obvious. This guy just really doesn't have the stuff for it yet. I mean, that's pretty dope, the hood. I'm not sure if we're going to be continuing with that, but... let's get our dexterity up. We basically want to be going super fast. Like, the entire reason why we got, Vinokinesis and Cryokinesis is, again, so that per attack, we are putting -5 speed for each onto our target. So if they have 20 speed, we're having it, right? Once you get the extreme speed advantage, you're kind of set. We should probably go ahead and get that going. An Agni Skirt, huh? Resist fire and astral. Deal fire damage to yourself on attack. Self-damage over meditate applied. Self-damage and the meditate applied equals your dexterity. For every attack. On prayer, heal yourself 10 times your dexterity. Yeah, but the meditate is removed on steps, so that's more for like a standstill character, not our guy. Let's see. On attack or standstill, perform a 10 damage hit against one enemy in a 2 tile range. So we just get more attacks. I would really like to scoot him. But we're gonna have to go through, you know... Well, the Gore Idol, we resist blood damage from. Our weapons are kind of... I don't think we have anything that cares about what kind of damage we're doing. Apply 10 bleed to yourself. That's going to be kind of bad. Heal yourself for 25% of your max life. Yeah, we might just leave that unmessed with. Kind of want to go for this, even though it's probably going to end poorly. We'll see, though. We're still saving up for technique, so that we get an extra attack on step for stuff near us. Get our willpower up a little bit. So yeah, technique. Also, we get -1 in flexibility, which is kind of relevant. That's both on step and on initial attack. I would obviously like to get maybe 1 more levels of this. There we go. Excellent. Let's go ahead and put those bracers on. +5 encumbrance, man, that's not great. We'll put that up and go one-handed. So that each time we attack, we just get another hit. Now the problem with here is that we don't resist fire damage. But we could try it. If we end up eating dirt, then, you know, whatever. Get some more willpower going. Okay, so far so good. These bugs right here, I'm not even sure what makes them so tanky. But they are very tanky. Okay, let's continue to get willpower up. I like getting everything at like base 10 as soon as possible. Since 10 seems to be sort of the good minimum bar. Let's go ahead and use our what's that called? Blood Rage prayer thing. Continue dumping into willpower. Again, that helps our damage too, so it's not like it's purely defensive. Now let's go ahead and look at this. It would be good to get agility, like now, just again for the extra attacks. More willpower. Alright. Now let's start getting strength and dex up. We're probably going to leave willpower right where it is. The golden litter is raised. Shimmering light, strange heat. Now the thing with these guys is, as you can see, they summon 2 hobgoblins on entrance. They summon a golden wretch on, attack. That's pretty bad. On being attacked, deal damage to the attacker. That's going to be really bad for us. Which is why we need to get... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But this is why we need to, I was pressing diagonal up left by accident. Yes, this is why we need to get as much of our... Let's wait for them to move towards us. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, that's why we need to get as much of our, I keep forgetting the name of it, Blood Rage up as we can. Okay. That does psychic damage. Now, here's the thing. We take extra damage from psychic, so it might be good for us to get that. Again, because what we have doesn't really care about the type of damage we're doing. Yeah, I think we'll go for this. It's going to be dangerous, though, because of these fellas. So if you look, they summon 2 Slog Skirmishers. On player step, it applies 2 Inflame to itself. And on an ally death, they perform an extra attack against an adjacent enemy. Now, these things scare the crap out of me because of how they work on higher cycles. These things are... Ugh. Let's get after it. Again, get strength up. Oh, these things are fast. That's the worst. Okay. Alright, we're doing good so far. Somehow. Alright, let's get that extra point of technique. We're not going to spend any more into it because we have enough extra attacks, frankly. The Samnite, huh? Between life and martial. Per empty armor slot, plus 200 armor, plus 100 hit. On being attacked, perform an extra attack against an adjacent enemy. Yeah, let's go with that. Why not? I don't think that... to be clear, I don't think that takes... like, see how they're at the same... I can't really... but okay, there we go. I kind of want to just select that, but you see how these are on the same level? And these kind of, like, indent over? Because per empty armor slot and on being attacked, like, the starting text is both, like, even. I'm pretty sure they're not the same thing. Like, you don't have to have per empty armor slot for on being attacked to perform an extra attack against an adjacent enemy. Does that make sense? I think those are 2 separate statements. I could be wrong, but that's the way it looks from the kerning or whatever you call it. Excellent. We're doing kind of good so far. Alright. Nice. Now let's use Halhala, Sam Uri, and then just get to it. Holy crap. Wow. I didn't expect this to work this well, I'm gonna be real. Also, I love how right out of the level up menu we're already attacking stuff again. That's based. Every time I see that, I'm like, ugh, can you imagine the rash wearing hemlock as your pants? Okay, we got the Mind Saber. Let's go ahead and equip that. We just need a good shield. I would like that, actually. So that we get decent lightning resist. I'm going to get rid of that because death we're good on and martial, like the physical stuff, we're good on. I'm gonna get rid of that because that thing's a very peculiar thing to itself. Get rid of the hood. We resist poison and blood both pretty well. We don't do corrosion, so we don't really want pet snakes. Nothing against snakes, but we're not really the snake man. Resist poison and death 50%. Good. Yeah, that ain't really great for us. The problem here is that we'd be going against the Gehin and the Thunder Egg, which the Thunder Egg is very bad for us. Boulder Fist is kind of based. I just like the... I mean, I said that we're good on physical, and we kind of are. But the problem with that is that it would get rid of our bracers. What we need is a chest piece that isn't garbage. This does not count. I guess resist death isn't that bad. But we'd also have to go against freaking Golganths and Storm Knights, which would own us. The reason why Storm Knights are so bad, by the way, is penetration. On attack, ignore 90% of the target's armor and block. Yeah, they just destroy everyone. The Gehin, on death, this unit applies 5 doom to its killer. That's kind of what's bad about these guys. They deal death damage. Yeah. The main thing is the Thunder Egg. They summon these on game turn or being dealt damage by an enemy. They summon Lapsy. Lapsy are stupidly fast and they do lightning damage. I guess we'll go ahead and try this. That noise, by the way, is the noise of psychic damage, so we're going to be hearing that a lot. Go ahead and get more strength. Oh, right. So the last skill that we'll get, block, for whenever we eventually get shield, we'll get guard. Now, let's look at the speed of these things. 50. That thing's speed is 3. The Lapsy each have a speed of 50 and do 400 light. They have 400 hit lightning. Dodge 1000. Like lightning eggs, you can see we took some decent damage there. Yeah, they're not something to be messed with. I'll say that much. Not taken lightly. Just dump some more into strength. I'm hoping for a good shield. Now this would be stupendously good for us, so we kind of have to go there. Ah! Oh. I hate having to choose between these two. But like I said, Psychic and Astral are way more dangerous, especially for our guy. The problem is we're going to be dealing with a thing that does fire damage. And that thing doesn't kid around either. Also, these guys don't... Nothing in this dungeon kids around. Oh, goodness. But the loot is super good. We'll go for it. Let's see if our greed gets us killed. Okay, so far so good. We're getting after it. One more point to strength, and then we gotta start pumping into dexterity. Now, you saw him say, like, oh, trembling bud. They are talking about the boss of the area. The weird plant thing we're gonna have to deal with. Speaking of... Speaking of, I do kind of want to, if you look at Life Chant, +5 to all healing. I do actually want another point of Life Chant. Now, Master Entangle is good, but that is predicated on taking damage, and we don't want to take damage. A shocker, I know. Okay, let's continue pumping into Dex. Oh! Okay, let's get back around the corner. Get some distance. Get our blood rage up. Continue to do so. Because remember, the blood rage is +5 on hit. Like, heal 5 on hit. So we're doing pretty good. Especially since that's technically heal 10 on hit, since we have, again, Life Chant. Let's go ahead and get Dex up again. Speaking of, let's get another point into Life Chant so that we're getting really good healing. Okay, like, if we look down here, I don't know if it, yeah, it doesn't show the healing unless we actually are being healed, but we should be getting some really good healing off of that. more decks. So our speed right now is 50. That's not bad. We can pump those rookie numbers up. But yeah, the red flower blooms. Let's go ahead and get as much blood rage as we can. Oh, it's right there, huh? Yeah, let's just sashimi it. Alright, well, that worked. Alrighty, let's just keep pumping into decks. Speed 61. Alright. Now then, we should just put this on. So you see the Agni skirt and the Agni mantle. Yeah, we're not going to be using that set, but it is an interesting thing to like look at, that there's sets. Now, we have the Mind Saber. The Astral Blade is kind of the astral version of the Mind Saber. I still want to get a shield. Like a decent shield. +2 in flexibility. We could actually wear that if we had the strength. But I mean, the question then becomes why? Like, why would we wear that? There's Agni Helm. We'll go ahead and go here. Might regret it. Probably will, since it's got these buttholes. But here's hoping that it doesn't become an issue. Okay, just to look at them, like speed 45. These things are miserable. Okay. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Now, if you look at our resistances now, we're 65% resistant to Psychic. We're doing pretty good. If we could just get some kind of, like, fire-resistant pants, like asbestos pants, we'd be doing really well. On dealing blood or physical damage, heal yourself for 5. I mean, again, I'm wanting a shield, and an absence of that, we should probably go with. Now, remember, our damage type is psychic, so we should probably go here for that reason alone. Just keep pumping into decks. Oh, and looking at it, go ahead and get agility up. We'll get guard up next, but obviously we don't have a shield yet, so we don't really have as much reason to care about that right now. Okay, where's the... If you press tab, it will move your guy towards the enemy, so... What? Uh... Okay. Those, they resist psychic a lot. I am stupid. I forgot the tag idols do that. I guess it didn't matter. Wait, are you telling me these things resist 90% psychic, and we're just destroying it with cryokinesis as well, I guess, huh? That was rough. We almost died. Wow. Okay. Okay then. Well, I hope you understand now why. I'm not exactly fond of tag idols. Counts as a bare fist is very important for certain playstyles, like certain character types. Still no shield. I guess we'll go there just because of what's on offer. You know... Yeah, just go ahead and get rid of all that stuff. Just for extra max health. Apply those to ourselves on the world map. That's not good. Cinder beasts, huh? Yeah. Just keep pumping dexterity for now. Because if you look, speed 3, like... It's for the best that we could just outmaneuver these. Since realistically speaking, that's what's keeping our character alive. Speaking of... Might as well get agility up again. To help us, you know, not die. Okay. Sacrifice that. Go ahead and put these on ourselves on the world map. Now, of course, the only way to get a shield is through tag idols and Shesha phalangites. I feel like this is going to get us killed if we go here, but I want that shield so bad. Let me look at our encumbrance. We can actually use that without going over encumbrance. So yeah, I guess it's just time to go ahead and deal with this. Yo, okay, that was intense. Okay, one more point into strength, I guess. Alright. We're doing good. Just gotta remain calm. In the face of Tagla idols, it ain't as easy as it sounds. Okay. We came out with our shield. I don't know why we're getting a negative on the shield. Oh, right. The berserk status. Well, whatever. It's fine. Fire damage, which we resist 15%. Blunt, 24. Psychic. So we should be good against the Hierophant. It's just everything else. Again, we just want all this crud to sack. Is there any lightning stuff? No, okay. So we can, like... Yeah, like I thought, that screws us up pretty bad. You can put the burning mask on for a little bit more fire defense. Put this back on because just armor and psychic resistance. Okay, here's a real weird one. Do we just use the golden spear? Because that seems like it would be really good for what we're doing, even though it would take away from a little bit of psychic defense. Resist 40%, right. But how much does it resist psychic? A lot. Alright, let's try it. Alright. One more point into strength. Excellent. Okay, now let's put another point into guard. Excellent. Excellent. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. That thing's scary because it puts corrosion on you. Corrosion is a killer. Ugh, my ear. Yeah, if you look at corrosion, minus 20 block, minus 10 armor, 1 fire damage on being attacked. It's like a really weird doom. Corrosion is really bad if it gets too out of control on you. Ah, goodness. Corrosion is also like a fire poison cross thing, which is kind of interesting. I like that motif. The corrosion is like fire plus poison. It makes sense to me, kinda. Now I'm just doing the Hala thing because we get 2 each time we enter a new area, and whenever we start off like isolated from enemies like that, it's just best to get as many stacks of blood rage as possible on our guy, just to keep him alive. Now, if you look, plus 10 accuracy, plus 20 hit. Half of it's removed on being hit, but we shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Okay. Our speed base is 59. I want to put more into willpower just for the damage, but I know that dexterity is kind of how we're remaining alive. Same as strength. So I'm just going to put some points into strength and dexterity, like 25, and then if we have stuff left over, we'll put it into willpower. Nice. I mean, all that corrosion ain't nice, but it is what it is. Alright, excellent. I have a feeling that we're gonna get through this. Ah, my ear. Ah. I'm telling you, man. Just, ugh. Sorry, folks. I am feeling a little under the weather, by the way. Not really sure why. Anyway, with that weird health update, let's get back to what's actually at hand, which is leveling strength and dex to 25, ideally. I kind of want those traps to go off. There we go. The Hierophant grimaces, little pilgrim in the hour of flood. Yeah, okay. A wizard priest that took on the half-shape of a dragon wields an accursed golden staff. Attacks with psychic damage at 10 range. Yeah, well, he's got a lot of abilities. And ideally, we don't have to care about any of them. Well, that's him. Let's tear him up. Excellent. Show him the power of the blender. Alright, now, obviously, get guard up is a good choice. But as strange as it may sound, I'm kind of tempted to, let me look at the log. You apply 5 entangle. Willpower's just giving us an additional plus 30, so it's like doubling our damage on that. See, willpower plus 50. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of wanting to increase this. Just doing a bit more damage per hit. Ice damage specifically. On step, perform an extra attack against an adjacent enemy, huh? That's way better than our current pants. On attack, shrug off or block. Remove entangle, freeze, sickness, and bleed from yourself. Well, we don't really want that necessarily. We'll keep these just because of the utility. Ditto for this. It's just astral and psychic to get this. Ruby Cascara. On attack, deal fire and pierce in a path to the target. 10 times strength and pierce damage equals 10 times dexterity. That's kind of stupid. But the problem is that this is against Granga Dancers and Agni Idols, which we don't really have much resistance against. And Granga Dancers are pretty Let's go for it, because if we get that sword, that would actually be pretty dope. Alright, we got through it. I just want to remind you that these guys have 1200 hit for ice, which means that we can get seriously messed up if they get a lucky hit. Now let's see what that Inflame is doing for us. Plus 10 accuracy, plus 20 hit. Yeah, we're good on that. If we get the sword from here, all we'll really need is to just level up willpower, and we'll be cutting things up like you couldn't even believe. Alright. Yeah, let's equip that. Plus it gives us 15% resist fire, which is just kind of good. Resist fire and astral, plus 100 dodge. On dealing astral or fire damage, apply 5 blind. That's not bad. I mean, what is our current shield doing? Resist fire and poison. On block or being hit, apply corrosion equal to your strength. That's pretty good. There's not really anything else here I would want. I kind of want this a little bit, just for fire, if we need it. Defense. I don't think we need it though. I think the actual choice here is to go get the loot for maxed HP. Especially if, yeah, this is just going to be this guy alone. Tear him up. Wow. No, I guess we missed out on XP then. Yeah, I kind of want to get Vinokinesis up again, just again, so that we're doing a little bit more damage. And speaking of, let's just get rid of this stuff. Technically speaking, we could keep these just for the resists, but I'm not exactly, worried about it. Plus, the problem is that using them for resists is how you end up doing that kind of damage, which would kind of screw us, so I guess I'll get rid of one of them. Get rid of that, too. Get rid of the golden spear, we don't need it. Keep the mind saber, because we will need that if it gets too heavy into, you know. This would be a stupendous weapon to get for reasons I don't think I need to explain, but remember that we're basically just getting fire, ice, and lightning resist more than anything out of that 10%. But to do that, we'd have to deal with Sebek priests and fire wasps, which I'm not sure I really want to deal with that. Meanwhile, we deal with ice wasps and we get a ton of stuff. Yeah, I'm going for a ton of stuff. This may end poorly. Now, reminder, these do 1790 ice hit. Yeah, look at the damage that we're doing with this sword, though. Pierce for 1,000, burn for 1,000, the Ruby Kaskar 250, plus 250, and the negative resistance, yeah, the sword is doing work. Speaking of doing work, let's go ahead and... we could keep the acid knife, because if you look, it does pierce, resist fire 40%, that would be really good. Apply Scorch to the target and summon a burning blade. I think I'm good on that. Now here, we're just gonna go for That's kind of a good, like a really good shield, but the problem is that it is good depending on what your guy is, and we're not really fit for that. Also, Iron Giant. Let's anyway move on to something that's slightly less likely to murder us. Buff ourselves up. Now look at these guys. 2,000 hit blunt. They hit the blunt for 2,000. So powerful. I did that the wrong way around, crud. That range damage. Well, at least we got him. Let's buff up. Try to stick to corners so that they don't get us at range in a group. Alright, excellent. Now again, we're just gonna stack all that. And here we go, we're upon the obelisk. Psychic damage, which you resist 40%. Well, how much does it resist psychic? 50%? Yeah. Let's just get ourselves that little bit. Oh, on dealing ice damage, 25% of the damage is dealt against psychic. That's not going to do a whole lot for us, but... Astral, fire. Yeah, you know, we've got pretty good resists. Not the best, obviously, but pretty good. Now let's start putting into willpower a bit, actually. Not just for upping our healing. By the way, those are the teleporter enemies. Take this and get out. Wow, that's kind of loud, guys. That's why it's psychic damage, is because when it goes off, you can't hear yourself think. Okay. I want to put one more point into cryokinesis for the reasons having to do with our pants. Right? So that we're just doing decent damage. Decent damage. Like Exhibit was talking about Path of Achra. Yo, dog. I heard you like damage. Let's get after it. Excellent. So far, so good. Now the thing is, these guys, as you can see, their stuff can kind of mess you up a bit. But if it's just them, it's not that big of a deal. There come the teleporters. Let's look at how much damage we were doing with... So chill for 105 plus 115 for willpower, right? So yeah, we're doing pretty good. I guess this guy is the Fallen Samnite, a murderous sentry of the obelisk, seeks pilgrims as trophies. He's kind of got he's kind of a chunky boy. I guess maybe it's just the armor, like Smo, you know? I mean, there is something to be said that maybe Smo wasn't fat, it was just the armor, right? Ouch! That was not a small amount of damage. Let's get in there. Yo, that's a lot of dudes. Alright. Okay. let's get after it. The Jeweled Visage. Wow! That's really, wow, guys. Yeah, okay. Alright. What a crappy place to start us at, but we powered through. Ouch. Okay. Ignore the target's armor and block if your total weapon size is less than 5. We are not going to be able to get that, I don't think. Yeah. But we've got a decent amount of HP now. Going against this guy would stink. I'd rather not. Going against this guy would stink, and I'd rather not. But, I mean, the Malaga is not going to be doing as much damage to us. Alright. As always, so far so good. What does our guy give us again? Like our, whenever I say our guy, I meant like the prestige class. On being attacked, heal yourself for an amount equal to your strength. Okay. Obviously, these guys don't care about blood stuff, but, you know, we'd never really use, Halhala for the damage. We just use it to get our some Uri charges back up. Alright. Resist fire and 15 encumbrance. Yeah, we're never using that. Dune Blade. On attack or hit, apply 5 Doom to the target. Deal death damage to all units in a 2-tile range. That would not entirely be bad. I kind of want that. Actually. Whoa, these 75 speed, huh? Okay. Quick as a whip. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Come on, come on. Step right up, step right up, step right up. Meet ya, make a. Come on, come on. Ah, good. I was gonna say, good grief. The Doom Blade, huh? Resist death 25%. Now, obviously, we don't really need that. we're kind of good on that. But the thing is that Doom deals 5 damage per stack on being attacked. So that will just allow us to just stack death damage on the same target. So we'll probably need that for the very last, like the last segment of the last dungeon kind of a deal. I love how goofy that looks. But also resist psychic, negative 50%, yeah, nah. 2% of the target's max life on dealing slash damage. Yeah, let's go for that. Forget the Doom Blade. Let's just get the 2% of max life. Let's turn everything into a 50 hit. Into a 50 hit target, yeah. Let's go ahead and get guard up again. Because the thing is, if we play our cards right, we could just equip that and sashimi the final boss. Ah. My ear. Oh. Okay. This is going shockingly well. I didn't think this would go as well as it did. I'm gonna be real. Like, this has gone way, way better than I thought it would. We are not going there. We ain't going here. Not for this stuff. Oh, I mean, that's tempting, but we ain't going here. This stuff will murder us. This stuff will actually murder us. Look at that, 4,000 hit. 5,000 hit. Yeah, we're taking the low road. Another super fast enemy. Oh, maybe not super fast, but still pretty fast. Alright, oh, and yeah, I do want to just equip that. Because that's just, sashimi everything to death. Because think about it, that's 5 hits equals 10% of the thing's life. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to stand up to us now as far as damage goes. Now we just gotta focus on dexterity again. Alright, fire damage. That's kind of bad. Except we can just equip this and we'll have all the fire resistance we need. That's kind of goofy. Yeah, we are like over-equipped for this actually. I'll go ahead and get cryokinesis up again. Yeah, we are like legitimately over-equipped for this. Wow, you know, sometimes you take 5 or 6 runs to get it to work. Sometimes you take 20. Sometimes you just fall backwards into a hole of victory. Alright. Oh, and yeah, that's doing all that because our guy is doing the on block or being hit, deal fire damage to adjacent units equal to your block. Wow, okay. Smooth. Just get all that blood rage up. We're just gonna step our way through to victory. I don't think there's anything that's gonna get us at this point. Some kind of weird freak critical strike or something. Just get another point of dexterity. Let's go ahead and get our stacks of blood rage going. Yeah, this is what it looks like whenever your build kind of just comes together in a way that aligns perfectly with what you're going up against, basically. There's not really anything else to say. At this point, we just need to crank cryokinesis so that we're doing even more damage. Yeah, see, you chill the red demon for 944. Cryokinesis 175, willpower plus 297 and the negative resistance. Like, I mean, granted, it makes sense, so I probably shouldn't have to say it, but stuff that's typically resistant to fire is going to be, like, weak to ice, that kind of thing. So if you see the little ox up here, right, that's your divine interventions. So you see how it, like, goes away and then comes back whenever stuff hurries back up. At least I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Yeah, wow. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Yeah, through divine intervention, you can see it look right here whenever I mouse over it. Anyway. Go ahead and get dexterity up again. Just keep cranking our blood rage count. Just to ensure that we heal above, like, the damage that we're taking. This ought to be the last one. Yeah, the King of Many Colors. Alright, well, let's crank our blood rage as high as we can get it. But also, importantly, get out of this corner so that we're not trapped here. We do want to be able to move around. Wow. Okay, come on. I'll pick Vigor just to get us out of this hole a little bit. We just actually need to get to this idiot and focus him down, as you can see. If you can hear me over all that. We just need to focus him down. Excellent. And we'll spend our last 3 points on Master Entangle, why not? And that's it. Wow, I am shocked, clueless at that. That is wild. Victory, praise Humbaba. You enter the 4th cycle of despair. You won 108 glory. Okay, I don't know how to bring that back. Crap. Ah, why did I hit that? Game? Game? Oh. Tab, switch lands. Yes, victory. Controls? Game? Hold on. Okay, guys, let's go to the power of the internet. Wow, let me see. This is a little awkward. So, Path of Achra can't see victory screen. Okay. That stinks. Oh, there we go. Okay, you just quit. All right, cool. Thank you, game dev. Thank you, guy who designed this game, for not being a jerk. Okay. Excellent. The Lochra Mubarizun Samnite of Humbaba. Victory. Day 21 in the third cycle of hope. These are all the enemies we killed. Stats. 211 game turns passed, performed 1,119 attacks, stood still 2 times. Prayed 408 times, received 0 divine interventions. Dealt 2,913,423 total damage. Highest damage was 18,225 slash, took 28,369 total damage, received exactly the same amount of healing. Highest effect applied was 337 entangle, killed 991 enemies. Summoned nothing, nothing summoned was killed, killed nothing summoned. Alright. Assassin unlocked. A hooded fighter of the northern filth valleys, devoted to the purity of skill. Ascetic unlocked. Or ascetic unlocked. A spiritual purist, gains power through stillness. Baghatar unlocked. A hero of the eastern desert, blessed with a slashing prayer wind. Cyclops unlocked. A haughty, one-eyed wanderer from the rumored island of giants, derives might from vigor. Angra unlocked. The lawless beast from underground, presides over hunger, nameless chasms, and monstrosity. Loathes the stars and demands the blood offering of one's followers, seeking the divine upheaval of the earth. Tingri unlocked. The god of the cutting wind, inhabits the open sky of the eastern desert, rewards alacrity and risk. Myrmidon unlocked. A rigid lancer adorned in bone armor of the ancient earth. The Worm unlocked. Yeah, the Worm. The eternal worm that slumbers beneath the desert of the gods, provides a mighty aura of psychic corrosion through the Du-Erd ritual of mental sacrifice. Udatak, unlocked. A fighter monk trained by the Yellow Church performs a cleansing stance. Apophis, unlocked. The long serpent of the outer dark, the dust void past all light. Apophis is the ancient enemy of Phoenix. Those who worship Apophis invite their own destruction, in exchange for unnatural, ever-increasing strength. Priest, unlocked. A magic aspirant of the Temple Lands, blessed with a ritual of amplification. That was a lot of stuff unlocked. That was also a pretty good run. Wow, like I said, that was the... I didn't expect to do that on one try. That is kind of nutty, but there you have it. So let's look at some of the stuff that we unlocked next time, as we consider our next character.